How is civil society changing the political and corporate governance landscape in emerging nations, not just in India, but in Africa as well? We have Jimmy Gotyana, president of the South Africa National NGO Coalition, joining us. What are the core issues that the coalition is focusing on?
Yeah, as you are well aware that South Africa is coming from a past where major issues that affect our people has not been addressed by previous apartheid regime. Mm-hmm. So the current democratic government, which was put in power in 1994, has put it upon itself to ensure that there's a clear mandate on how they democratize the society, to ensure that every voice and views are encapsulated in the policy direction that will be taken in the country.
So that is a primary focus area for you, the democratization of society in South Africa.
Yeah, because we're coming from a very past, divided, society.
What would be another core issue?
Then other core issue is to ensure that the issue of poverty is addressed, so that the marginalized black people, they benefit, from the economic, system that will enjoy their rights. Because I think we're coming from a past where the rights of citizens of the country were completely suppressed, and our view lastly is to ensure that the government strengthen the civil society, ensure that they articulate the voice that will come from the people. And these are the areas that we think are critical in shaping the current trajectory in the country.
If I asked you to share with us evidence that suggests that the government and corporations in South Africa are listening, absorbing, and translating on what civil society is saying, what comes to mind? Something recent.
What comes to mind, for example, the issue of MDG, Millennium Development Goals. In the past, government has been reluctant to properly engage the civil society on matters that are affecting our people. And I think to some extent the parliament took a resolution where first they have to recognize the contribution that will come from the sector, that civil society in South Africa are a critical stakeholder in the national landscape. With that in effect, it has ensured that a necessary platform has been created for us to engage with government, which ensure that the MDG are not only owned by the corporates in the government, but it becomes an ownership issue by everyone. We form part of the compilation of that report. And these are some of the steps in the right direction, which we think we're happy that has been introduced by the government.
There is a perception in recent months, perhaps since August last year, for people sitting here in India on our TV screens, images of minor agitation, police action, the face-off between the two, and in a sense, unease, deadlock. What is the reality on the ground, and how actively has civil society participated in this face-off?
One of the areas which has been confronting us for some time is the issue of xenophobia, in a country where a lot of foreign national, people from Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, neighboring countries which are close to South Africa, they come, because I think they lack jobs, employment opportunities are not available in their countries, and they flock into our country. So there's been an issue of consultation between them and the South Africans around the issue of resources, but some of the resources are scarce.
Yes.
And the South Africans, they felt that this invasion, will make things difficult for them, for the locals, to benefit from the system. And that, on its way, it created some problem. Insofar as Sangoco, we've been involved to ensure that the issue of xenophobia is looked at. We have brought in the faith-based organization. We have brought in the labor movements, COSATU, and various other critical stakeholders to ensure that we discuss this issue. And I think it's something that we're working on it to ensure that the issue of xenophobia is addressed. Because what we believe with SADC or any foreign national that comes to a country, there must be what we call free movement, of people.
But, we're running out of time, but do you have a sense that these talks are yielding results, that there will be a normalization soon? Yes.
I think to some extent they have to be addressed, but some of the issues, it's not only about South African in its context, but it affects the region.
Right.
So it therefore means that the SADC, Southern African Development Communities, you know, those countries needs to come up with some policies that will ensure, for example, the issue of regional integration is looked at seriously, the issue of cross-border, you know, movement of people, free trade by the informal hawkers. Because some of the people, they come to buy goods from our country in South Africa, and then they take them back. So it's important that, you know, an enabling, conducive environment is created by all those countries so that people understand. But I think
so regional cooperation is a key element
of the whole thing. But again, that must translate into action. In other words, where the people on the ground, they need to
feel the effect
and fully, you know, understand, and not only understand, but to comprehend all these actions that are taken by our government. And I think as civil society, we're working very close to government to ensure that these issues are addressed.
Well, thank you very much for your time and your thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you very much.